Hey, Seminole State family. Welcome to Research Rally Live. We are faculty librarians at Seminole State College of Florida. I'm Nicole.
I'm Jason.
I'm Ross.
Hey, we did it.
And we want to spend the next 30 minutes doing research with you. We're about to search, sift, sort, and suss our way through several sources. As always, we want to hear from you in the chat, especially if you have a research question. But before we get into that, let's find out what's going on at Seminole State College this coming week. And we have a very special guest today to help us out with that.
Hey, Jeff Nelson. Hey, what you doing?
Hi, Jeff.
How are you? Here's my alter ego, Jim Gossip.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim Gossip.
Jeff's going to stay and do some gossip and suss out some gossip with us. But what's going on at the gym coming up this week?
Yes. So we've got next Wednesday, Every Nation Campus, the club on at SSC is coming in and doing a basketball tournament. That's Wednesday at noon. My big event next week, Monday, that I'd encourage everybody to come to, the SGA meeting. So Monday the 17th is going to be in the game room. So SGA is coming in, so you can get FYE credit for coming to the SGA meeting, and then play games and hang out. And they're going to, go through their whole meeting, but also have fun. And then shout out chess club tournament.
Hey.
Hey, I wish the president of the chess club was here. Or I'm sorry, the faculty advisor for the
That's me. That's me, Nicole. It's me, Jason. Hi, Nicole. We've worked together for almost 3 years. It's me. I'm right here.
So that's going to be great. We're going to be running the brackets for that, I'm sure.
Nice.
And then the Career Center, another one for FYE students listening in, is doing a run through of Big Interview on Tuesday at 1:30. So be on the lookout for that, because you'll need Big Interview for your Module 14 assignment. And if you're not taking FYE, you should still check out Big Interview because it's a helpful tool.
Yes, and any student watching right now, go ahead and put your names into the chat. We'll get you IDS 1107 credit at the end of the show. Back to you, Nicole.
Yeah, and all those events, probably most of those events, if not all those events, are in Raider Connect. Got the URL down there, connect.seminolestate.edu/events. Or if you literally just Google Raider Connect SSC, you'll get to it.
And now for our first comment. Oh, it's from Jeff. Jeff N says, I'm here too. Okay, hi, Jeff. How's it going, Jeff? Thanks for commenting live on the air. Thank you.
So Jason,
all right,
you got a comment?
Yeah, we do. It's from Jeff. It's from Jeff. He's on the show. Oh.
Man,
Ross, do you want to comment? Nicole, you want to comment?
We really sucked this one.
Yeah, we missed that one. We missed that one.
So usually what we do every Wednesday at 3 is we do research, because we're librarians and that's what we do. Okay. And today we're going to do our research process, but just talk about some different types of sources. We're doing a tabloid edition of Research Rally Live. And the topic we picked is Bennifer 2.0 really over? Because I know maybe some of us care, maybe some of us don't. But
it's been a pretty tragic time, I will say. If you ask how my summer's been, it hasn't been so well, because Bennifer 2.0 might be over. So we're going to look at that today. I think the first thing that we would look at from a research standpoint is, what is a Bennifer? Is that a combination? Let's think about our keywords. What are we searching for? And in fact, if we did, maybe Ross, I know you like to kind of, let's put in Bennifer 2.0 as keywords, and let's see if the Google, if the intranets, if the algorithms bring us to what it is that we're talking about. So a very top, yes. So we were talking about the merger of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, and their reconciliation after a 20-year and maybe 4 different marriages individually. They've come back together, and now they may be on the rocks again. But we wanted to use this, right, Nicole, as kind of an example of what do we search for? Is it Bennifer? Clearly, we put in Bennifer 2.0, and the Google algorithms, according to the cut, have Jennifer Lopez and Ben right on top, which is kind of a little bit strange if you drill down, because BEN comes before JEN. But Jennifer came in first on the metadata. Anyway, a little maybe too much there. But what are we looking for?
Yeah.
Do you put in if they're divorced, if they're still together? Where do you look? Are there actual reputable, credible, reliable sources for this, or are we doing tabloids, which is what we kind of said that?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's part of the
Vogue,
conversation. Is
Vulture.
usually we're doing research for academic topics, and we might use some web sources or random blogs in our academic papers or projects. But like a gossipy celebrity gossip topic, that's not necessarily something like you could use as a paper topic. In part because the types of sources that you can get for that type of topic are not probably substantial enough, and we're going to kind of explore that around today. And I'm just curious, like, why do y'all think that we care? Obviously Ross's screen share was up, I took it off, but we'll pop it back up, we'll go through some more sources. Why do we care about Bennifer? Like, I'm asking, like, why do I care? I don't care that much. I don't care that much, but obviously there's a myriad of articles on it. People are talking about it. Is it about distraction from like our lives?
Sort of.
Think about this.
I'll jump in from my 2 cents. I think it's an American thing for sure in terms of celebrity worship. And I think there's a modicum, a small amount, a tinge of people getting to the top. Like, these are 2 rich, let's say good-looking people, successful in their fields.
Do you think they're good looking? Okay.
I think, let's be fair, I think they think...
Jason thinks Bennifer is good looking. No.
I think they think they're good looking.
I think they're good looking.
Right? So then you get to an upper echelon of American society, and then we're like, yeah, they did it. Look how good it is. They got back together. Aww. And now it's like, oh, there's a crack. Oh, the dam is breaking. And we're like, yes, tear it down. Like, go. Isn't
like,
it? That's
it's them, not me. Is that it?
right, because
Freudenshade.
Schadenfreude. Right, but then there's a schism, and now we can even go into the chat, and let's all do it together because we have 4 on our view count, which means there's 80 billion people watching. Then we pick a team. You're either Team Jennifer or Team Ben. That's what we've done on everything. We're teams. I think it's a United States culture thing. I think it's an American thing. Oh, Haley jumps in here. What do we got here? Haley Warren.
That's why we
they do influence. I mean, you know, Jenny from the Block, Ben Affleck from that movie, and then it's like, well, what would we be searching for? Because if you really get to it, we've seen no divorce papers signed. It's all speculation. To my understanding, and I haven't been following it as close as Nicole, but nobody's come out and said, here's a press conference. Hi, it's me, Jennifer Lopez. We have decided to divorce. Like, we are in bad trouble. No, nobody ever does that. It's always these tabloids. So how do you find out the truth? What's clickbait? What's misinformation? What's disinformation? And to be honest, where is anybody other than Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez getting their information? Who are the sources? This is a very difficult story to confirm.
Ross, before today, did you know who Bennifer 2.0 is?
I know what Bennifer is. I had never heard Bennifer 2.0. Context clues I put together here. I didn't even know that there was divorce talk though. Wow. I'm not the most culturally aware person, I guess.
You look upset.
I wasn't trying to put you in those spots. Like, I was just showing like that there's like different levels of like awareness of it, and I just like, I was hoping I'd get a big zinger from you, but you're too polite for that.
No, he's too upset, Nicole. He's too upset. He's clearly shell shocked. I'm genuinely, I'm mixed up when we went to the search results and we put in Bennifer. Why does Jennifer Lopez? Why is she listed first on these things?
One other thing with that too is because like alphabetically by my full name, Ben Affleck, should be in front of JL, Jennifer.
Yeah, no matter which orientation you use.
But we searched for Bennifer, so it should come up Ben first. It's very strange that Jennifer, if you took the thing there, most of them are kind of coming up first. Oh, so Ross, if you scroll down a little bit, you were not in the loop, but somebody is so in the loop that they created an Instagram account, Bennifer 2.0.
That's a fan page.
That's a fan page, and look, 9.9 thousand followers. I've been booted off of Instagram about 40 times, and these fake profiles have 9.9 thousand. Let me get Mark Zuckerberg on the phone.
All right. So I think if we could do a research paper on, is Bennifer 2.0 really over? And for context, okay, so Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck were dating and engaged and almost married in the early 2000s, called it off last minute, done, then ended up marrying other people, having kids, all of that. And then just a couple short years ago, they reunited and got married. And now, as of now, have been married for about 2 or 3 years. And the rumor is like there. So that's why it's Bennifer 2.0. When we do research, we look at people's opinions, but opinions are based on facts, and opinions are fine and great. But we are always looking for, like, what are the facts? What facts can we confirm about the topic? So with this topic, what facts can we confirm? One of the way we confirm facts is looking at sources, like who said the thing. So some of our sources that we really, really like are peer-reviewed articles. We haven't pulled up the database to see if Bennifer is in a peer-reviewed article. It's probably in a newspaper database but that's not really peer-reviewed. Okay, that's not a scientific study. So .govs, .edus, I don't think we're going to find any of those types of usually more reliable sources in most contexts for this topic. What do you guys think? I don't think it's going to happen.
I think you're right, and I see Ross is kind of in my brain now. I was going to try different things. Why don't we just put in Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, and let's measure the results that we had from. Let's go back to the Ross, the Bennifer 2.0, and let's see how many we got.
Well, I don't know
And
that it actually had a...
It didn't do it, did it? And then what came up on top? So we had
too many
Vogue.
accounts.
Yeah, Vogue and maybe The Cut as far as things that we may have heard of before. Maybe definitely Vogue. Not just the dance, but the magazine. And now, so when we put in the full names, now this goes back again, students, when you're doing your searches, you may have to try a couple different combinations of your keywords. So we put in the full names. And then I think, to my point, the full names came with a lot more results, not specific to what we would kind of give a sort of a jargon, Bennifer 2.0 is kind of what we established. But yeah, to your point, Nicole, $60 million home, or have they sold that? Page Six is a traditional standalone gossip site. Their motto, their tagline is, if you don't want it seen in Page Six, don't do it. So they're going to they'll report everything ever. Does that add to their credibility?
Okay.
Right?
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead.
We're done. Sorry. You know me, I gotta interrupt. Oh, we forgot it. Oh, there I am. Yes. Okay. That's it. That's what I do. Okay.
Look at the crowd. Look at everyone. What's going on? Okay. We got it. All right. Where were you going? Where were you going?
Okay. So I think one of the facts we might be able to say, we could say, okay, yes, this is definitely a fact, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So if anyone has used Zillow, when you use Zillow, like to search for home listings, if a home is for sale, you can see pictures of the home, of the inside of the home. As soon as the home is sold or maybe rented, they take all of the pictures down because they'll be like, somebody lives here. We don't want you looking at their spot. Okay. And Cosmopolitan, Malaysian News, Yahoo News. What is this?
Yeah.
I see a lot of, we find this a lot with gossip. So this is something to be aware of. They're saying that the pictures have popped back up on Zillow of that $60 million mansion that they spent a year or so house hunting for and then bought. And then it's like, oh, it's too big for her. It's too far away from where his kids live in LA. So they didn't like it. So of course they wanted to sell it. I looked through this. I couldn't really find like the Zillow listing. I don't think it links directly to the Zillow listing. So if I wanted to make sure beyond a shadow of a doubt that like the house is actually for sale, I would want to find it on Zillow somehow. So there's that. Okay. This article, going back to the linked out sources to like of who said what and when and where they're getting the information. It's to the Daily Mail, another gossip site, basically a news/gossip. Entertainment Tonight, TMZ. So this is basically like kind of
It's
a
tough.
gossipy site sourcing from other gossipy sites. Like, is that really a trust?
Well, first of all, I asked all the students in the chat, and now it's down to 3, which means we've dropped 10 million subscribers. But which team is everyone on? Nobody is listed in the chat. Which team are you on? I think TMZ back in the day used to be a goof. Now it's probably one of the most reputable breaking news sites. right, has reported Michael Jackson's death, Prince's death. I mean, they're usually, when they strike, when they hit the send button, when they hit the publish button, it's usually verified, and they pay sources all around, not even just Los Angeles and Hollywood, but around the world. So it's weird because they've actually become now one of the trusted news sources. And when you said a couple of the other ones, Daily Mail and stuff, it's even Entertainment Tonight. We have our theme song. Blah, blah, blah. Does that? Yeah. And Mary Hard, and I'm John Ted, and I'm back in the day. Does that mean you're correct? Because
they looked like
they're
news
not
anchors, but they're
not divorced. They haven't sold the house. If
Now,
they
there
sold
are-
the house, that's news. If they get divorced,
Yeah.
that's news. So there's no news right now.
Now, selling the house isn't
I like Haley.
causal.
I
Like,
like Haley.
if you're getting a divorce, you don't have to sell your house, right? That doesn't mean it. So it's correlational, but like maybe not causal. So I don't think that proves that there is a divorce in the works, but it definitely seems like you might look, like that might be something that happens. If like she's staying there while it's for sale, and he's staying somewhere else.
I
So
do
that was
feel.
kinda like,
I don't know if I've said this yet, and I'm glad we're listening. This is a major news site that we're on right now, this live broadcast. I feel really bad for the poor rich people. I mean, they're so beautiful and poor and rich and poor.
well,
Wait, they're not
there's
poor.
a trend,
they're beautiful.
Jason. Have
Oh,
you
what?
heard of the digitine?
Wow, we got right to the digitine.
We had to go straight to the digitine because
don't know about
we
the
talked
digitine.
about why we care about this type of information.
No,
on
what's the
celebrities.
digitine?
Well,
Tell me
after
more.
the recent Met Gala, as you know, happens every year.
I was
it's a
there.
Fancy costume ball. Oh, that's right.
In my head.
Fancy costume ball in New York City. Basically, you have to pay to get in. It's celebrity stuff. And then some posts of the celebrities from it were very like flippantly. What is this? You see why we like?
It's garbage.
Right. Right.
Yahoo News. Yahoo News is all ads.
Okay. All ads, which means
Sponsored
there's
content.
So long
yeah.
story short, digitines, what happened with the Met Gala?
Basically, they were like, these people are too opulently and flippantly opulent. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes.
And they're like, start blocking them on digital media because we are basically turning against celebrity culture. Jason, you mentioned that. I think Haley or one of our other viewers mentioned that in the comments. Like, it's part of the culture. I think the culture shift it's shifting. Anyone can be a celebrity now, the influencer age. So the value, the value of the fame of Bennifer in the early 2000s was worth more than their value now. I mean, they're obviously still in the news, but now we have influencer culture. Again, like, it's a more even playing field. People aren't willing, they don't want to put up with like fancy people being so fancy, I guess. And especially we're more, Jeff asked earlier, or we talked a little bit earlier, is the world more connected now as far as getting information and sharing information? Yes, because we have the internet, and it's used in so many ways, social media included. Influencer culture, I think, plays into that too. So where was I going?
You were on a good. You were ramping up, and then it just kind of you went right back down the hill. But I think I hear you. Like it's weird too. Like even we're talking to the college students, and many college students traditionally are late teens, early 20s, and stuff. But this is Jen Lopez and Ben Affleck. They're in their 50s, and so like who's really paying attention? Is it the adults, or is it Because then you have like who's one of these Jonas brothers gets in a divorce, and his ex-wife is on Game of Thrones. I would think that there would be more, or Taylor Swift and the football player and like all these other things. So like, again, I think it's kind of, a lot of Americans too, like British royalty. Like there's no British royalty here. So they kind of put them on a pedestal, which is kind of what we do here in America with Hollywood. But now Hollywood seems to be going down the drain and kind of going away because of all these fractured, Apple TV and this and that. So here's the question. Here's the research question for Google algorithms. Who's the celebrity? Who are the celebrities in 2024? I almost said 2021, but that's a couple years off. Like, what makes a celebrity now? When you say influencers,
You have a viral video. You could be a celebrity. You could be invited on a talk show.
Is that the Andy Warhol's 15 minutes of fame? Is that all they're gonna get? I keep seeing some news stories, and it's like this YouTuber, this influencer, a well-known celebrity influencer passed away. I never heard of him. That doesn't mean that it's just they're an influencer. I don't know. Who knows? That's my point. Like, where's the celebrity stamp? Where do you get the stamp of approval? Celebrity.
I think there's like pockets, because like if you have like a niche, I guess that you call it a niche interest. Like if you like to watch Twitch streamers, maybe Jeff, you know some stuff about this, like because I know you're into video games and you know about Twitch and stuff. Like, so like I know there's Twitch streamers that have literally caused a riot in New York City from like doing a giveaway. And it made the news and it was a big deal. But like, I happen to know about it. I saw it on YouTube, but like a lot of people wouldn't know about him, but he's probably almost as technically as popular as some other celebrities. I think it's like pockets, like niche pockets.
Everything's getting siloed because there's so many avenues for information.
Multiple avenues of information. Yes.
Because back in the day, Kim Kardashian was not a celebrity. Kim Kardashian was Paris Hilton's personal assistant.
I was just going to say she was following around Paris Hilton.
Yeah, and so she did everything she could to completely fabricate and conceptualize a game plan, a pathway to becoming famous. I think we know the answer on how that originated. We're not going to get into that on this broadcast. However, nowadays it's almost like Kardashian who, like it feels so tired, and there's no shade in that sentence. It just doesn't feel like they're part of. And then you have like Zendaya, who's like so under the radar, but yet so
multiple billion-dollar
all of it
franchises.
But you never see out and about, like stumbling out of the club. Like back in our day, that kind of used to be the thing. Hey, here's another celebrity falling out of the club. Like that was the 90s and the 2000s and even the 80s, where it was like the Brat Pack. There's a new documentary on the Brat Pack with Molly Ringwald and all the. So like, who are the celebrities now? What makes an opinion? Hold on, let's see what we got here. We have a student comment here. Okay, so when you see them often, so it's visibility. You just keep seeing them, right?
They keep getting. There would be Zendaya.
But she's not. Maybe I saw her in one commercial or whatever, but I don't see them in the negative press. Someone usually can understand social media algorithms. Okay. There you go. Good point. And that's maybe influencers, or look at me and I'm here doing this with this product. But is that a celebrity? All right. So this is interesting, students. For our research question, we've pivoted a little bit. We still have to get an assignment technically in this hypothetical scenario. We told our professor we're doing the topic is Bennifer 2.0 dead, and now we're saying, well, what is celebrity? So I think you can use all of this in your research in this hypothetical to say, look, professor, I got on we've spun into a completely different thing over here in 20 minutes, but what is celebrity? And I still want to find out what that is. And, I think we can mangle Frankenstein something together in this paper, but we've got, right?
On point, Jason, because let's say you're interested in this, but you need to do a paper that will fly with your professor. That could be the thing. I want to build a case for how shifting celebrity culture has affected these historically famous stars that are now getting a lot of bad press. I mean, like, basically, yes, exactly what you just said.
Because there's a flip side. So Tori Spelling, who was on there it is. Nicole's the only one on the 90210 clap, or the whatever, zoom. She was on the show. Her father was Aaron Spelling, a multi-billion-dollar television producer who produced pretty much every television show back in the day. And now she can't even live in a hotel or a motel. She's been kicked out or evicted or getting divorced or whatever. So I guess what I'm getting at and bringing that up is now we've like attacked them. Look at them. They've fallen so much. We're going to keep kicking them down. Where it's Ben and Jen, it's like, who are you rooting for? Who are you? Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in a celebrity sort of, trial. It feels like the public is always kind of divided and split. And then you wonder, like, who is the celebrity? Is Amber Heard a celebrity? Is she still a celebrity? Was there when you lose a court battle, are you still a celebrity, or are you no longer famous? You're no longer working in
Team Ben. I think personally, photos are factual evidence, right? They show a thing that happened. But we all know we take 10 selfies and only one of them maybe barely is worth sending to your sweetie, okay? So paparazzi can take hundreds of photos, whatever, and they're going to pick the ones that show whatever they want to show, right? Like Ben glaring. They look happy here. This is their honeymoon, people. he doesn't look happy, but maybe he's just glaring at the paparazzi. But look, this is on their honeymoon. Like, it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Y'all chilling on a little ship in the Seine. In the Seine, Rive Gauche, wherever in Paris.
Hello.
And you're sleeping. I don't think this looked good. I wish for everyone's happiness, but like, I think there was a reason that it didn't work out back in the day. So I'm team like move on, I guess, when it comes to Ben and Jen. Jeff, you had a really cool source, Vulture. I don't know if you can screen share, but I can pull it up. But you said you found, what does Vulture do? What does their algorithm do to pull up articles?
Yeah, well, this was one of my questions of like, why do we need celebrity? Kind of also led into news aggregators like Vulture. You know, I use Vulture as an example in my IDS class when we do the SIFT method, because Vulture is a new news outlet that just pulls from all the other sources, spins it up a little bit, spits it back out, and they're trying to get as many articles out per hour as they can. So like, if you look at the feed on Vulture over there on the left-hand side, the feed, you'll see 10 articles in the last 2 hours. It's like, okay, how much research went into these things? Or did they just go onto, you know, an AI algorithm and said, what are 60 queer horror movies for that list I just saw over there, and then copy it down? Or
all right, do the first one. There it is. There's our topic. Oh, Jennifer, is it really happening? Is it a divorce? Okay, so
that's the search from the cut. Oh,
that's the search from the cut. Exactly. So just to go back, Nicole, really. The cut was the very first result that Ross was referring to, which didn't come up as the Vulture. The cut is a part of the Vulture. However, is Bennifer heading for a divorce? Students, you always want to check for two things. Obviously, you could check for more, but the two foundational: is there an author? I think I see an author, and they have a picture, which is good, and they have a bio. You can click on the link. That's awesome. And is there a date anywhere on there? Updated June 10th, which is a couple days ago. So I would go with this as far as not necessarily credible, because again, it's a question. You can't really answer, are they heading for divorce? Once it's final, you could say according to that site, but this is pretty long, right? Yeah. And remember, you know, a lot of these folks have publicists that they pay to put these stories out and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I think we have a weird variation of celebrity. Haley says, I would try to locate the original source of gossip and see if it's valid. Right. So that comes up a lot of times too. You'll see rumors. You'll see a lot of rumors too, maybe on social media like Twitter. Twitter's a pretty big sort of rumor thing where stuff just happens and you can't really corroborate it. And usually from a journalism standpoint, you always want to have like two sources, really, because usually you'll ask your bestie and be like, hey, did you hear that? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, all right, well, who did you hear that from? You're like, oh, we got to go find Ross. Ross is the one telling that. And you corroborate that. Also,
just like if there's conjecture, like a thesis for like a peer-reviewed type scientific type study, they don't publish the peer-reviewed article saying the conclusion of the study until the study is completed. Their published article is reviewed by other people in the field to make sure that that study was valid. Like, they don't say, hey, this is happening until it actually happened. If Ben and Jen are considering a divorce but haven't decided on it yet, like, then of course they're not going to announce, hey, we are getting divorced. So we're all just out here trying to figure it out and use clues.
Yeah.
Not all of us. Me.
You're the only one. We did this all for you.
Okay. But again,
the only person who,
what are the facts? Like, this is something we can make assumptions based on things that are like maybe a couple facts, but they're not necessarily correlational or causal.
I'd say two things. One, the only people who have really kind of done that is Gwen and Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin when they consciously uncoupled.
Uncoupling.
And everyone thought, oh wow, that was so weird and interesting and unique or whatever. Guess what, everyone? They caught that phrase from someone else. So they took that. They did not come up with that phrase. I doubt they cited the source on where they got that from, but that's another story. However, now that I'm thinking about this from an academic research standpoint, I would really like to know from Google Scholar or peer-reviewed journal articles, does Hollywood or becoming famous, does that hurt your marriage? Does that make you, is there a higher divorce rate? Right? That would open up the lens.
Movies and TV.
This would open up the lens of the research question from just Bennifer, because I think we can get a couple more famous celebrity couples. And really one would have to think, or what, is it easy? whatever that is in air quotes, to have a Hollywood. You know, usually it's they're too busy, he's too busy. Oh, I had to quit my career to raise the kid. I mean, it's pretty normal things that normal people do. It's just elevated because they have, you know, 50,000 people working for them and 80 billion trillion zillion dollars. But
hey, Ross, based on what you know,
based
do you
on it,
think
Ross.
that Bennifer 2.0 is really over?
Yeah, tell us your thoughts, Ross.
I mean, it sounds not great. I mean, if they're selling a house that they just bought, I mean, that's a big thing.
They looked for that house for a long time, Ross. They really did. They really looked
Tried
for
to
it.
get it right.
Yep, so did Tom and Giselle. They really looked for those houses. It really, and what most of them did as a sidebar is they tore down the perfectly good houses because it wasn't up to their standards, and then they tear the houses down and then build up the new ones, and then they get divorced. And then they sell the houses.
And guess what?
What?
At the recent Met Gala, J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, she was
Solo. Jay Solo.
J-Lo was Solo.
Jay Solo. I put out that nickname. Nobody liked it. Nobody liked it, but I'm trademarking it. Jay Solo. It used to be my nickname, but I'm giving it to Jen. Jen can have it.
Jen Solo.
And by the way, Jenny from the block, she's got 17 kids from all these other guys. Ben Affleck has 80 kids. They're not going to do bad afterwards. So if it's not working, what are they holding on to? I think they're holding on to their pride and they're holding on to their sort of ego in the you know, Hollywood sort of bubble.
He did say on her TV, she had like, I didn't watch it, the TV special that coincided with her like, you know, like creative project.
Documentary?
Basically a visual album, a documentary. He said that this whole thing has felt like a fever dream, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't read well with me. So anyway, but we'll find out soon enough if they're really over.
So we looked at a couple different things. We had a research prompt. We looked at keywords. How would we search for this? We reviewed and analyzed some of the sources that came up. And as we talked about, this is not going to be immediately printed in an academic journal. That takes way too long. It's not going to be in a dictionary. A couple years from now, maybe there'll be a documentary. But if we're looking on the information timeline, all we really have to go on, you guys, is those kind of seedlings that are coming out from social media or tabloids. And because everything is speculation, are they getting, we saw him in this picture and he looks like a weirdo and she's not looking at him, just because, as Nicole said, they snapped 1,000 pictures and ran the story with that one so they can sell all the ads, which we saw on Yahoo News.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's just we're just adding to it. So we're kind of the consumer of the information. We're kind of just adding to it. And at the end of this day, we've talked and we've had a good time and we've shared some good times and information, but we've never really learned anything in terms of the actual story because
we really can't.
We can't.
It's conjecture.
Right, but I think we can go in a couple different ways, right? We can modify our research topic and see celebrity culture. Why is it so worshipped in this society? And then why are we cheering for one side or rooting the downfall of another? Or when they say it's what? It's a comeback. It's a comeback kid, you know, and then they come back. Like, we're always kind of going back and forth on our stuff. But to be honest, does anybody really like Ben Affleck? Like him? Does anyone really like Jen Lopez? Like, really, does anyone really? I mean, from what I've heard from all these interviews and everything, they're both very difficult individuals. So whether or not they do it or not.
She's taking a lot of, because she put out those projects that weren't very popular, the documentary and then the movie. And then she had to cancel her concert. People were talking like, oh, she couldn't sell tickets. I mean, I think she's part of, like you said, that old celebrity culture that's like not really. So yeah, I think it's she's taking a lot of abuse, I would say, on like YouTube in particular is somewhere I am a lot and I see all that stuff. So yeah, I think, and it's from younger people that they're like, why should we think you're so great and better than everybody else? Yeah, it's shifted, I think, definitely.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, you're going to put a documentary out and then do a tour, and if nobody's buying tickets for your tour, you might want to reconsider things. That's a check to the ego, is it not?
Yeah,
you know how you do a party and you do like brownies and come over to the house and nobody comes over. You know how that feels with 10 of your high school friends. Think about millions of people around the world and nobody's coming to your concert. Like, that's gotta hurt. And then who would you take it out on? I might take it out on somebody who I see every single second. That might be Ben Affleck. So I don't know. And he's like, what are you doing? Take it out on me. I'm from Boston. I don't know. I'm gonna make another movie.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
I think that's what happened.
So thank you for joining us today. Remember, we are librarians.
We
Jeff's
are.
not a librarian. He's an honorary librarian, and we are here to assist you with research, citations, and information needs. There's no question too big, no question too small, no question too weird. We want to hear it all. We can save you time. We can save you stress. So why haven't we heard from you yet? You can make a research appointment with us or use 24/7 chat. Those and additional contact options are linked on the library website, sem.st/library. This has been another Research Rally Live. Thanks for joining us. And next week, we'll be back with another research topic, and it won't be a tabloid edition. But again, we talk through the research process. You can hang out with us. And if you need us for your actual research paper that's not on Bennifer 2.0, again, chat, make an appointment with us, library, SSC library. Okay. So, do you want to do an outro video, guys?
I don't know. That was pretty good. I just like when Nicole just says, library. You need help, library.
Like, all right.
Okay, bye, everyone. This is when we wave, and it's over. Okay, bye.